so that we gather feedback from you directly. As you know, our country has been on a tremendous path to progress, something that we promised when we came to the people 4 years ago. And we've seen remarkable changes. The landscape of our country is changing, the physical infrastructure. And as we go through the transformation in each sector, the things start to change over time too. The demands change, the challenges change, the requests change. And so it's always important that we remain connected to the ground. It's always important for us. It's our philosophy in our party that we stay connected to the people. And so there have been tremendous changes in the housing sector, in the water sector, for example, which I represent. I know, for example, in this area, there are some challenges in the water sector. You have a treatment plant here in Timehri, and most of you are receiving treated water. But I know that the issue in the area is the level of service, meaning the pressure at which you get the water. So we have made several interventions in that area. We are upgrading the Timehri treatment plant. We are drilling a new well on site there that will feed that treatment plant so that we can increase productivity, so that your level of service can improve. And we are also upgrading the transmission and distribution network. So all of these works that are happening in the water sector is taking place as we speak. So by the completion of all of those interventions, your water quality will improve and also your level of service. So the pressure that you get to your households, that will also improve, and you will get 24 hours supply. So that is the intervention in the water sector that we're doing here at Timehri and the upgrades that we're doing to the Timehri water treatment plant. And we can go through all the sectors and talk about the development that's taking place in every sector. But I want to give you a chance to interact too with His Excellency, and he will address you shortly. But it's always a pleasure. It's the most fun for me when we're in communities and meeting with people and hearing their feedback and being able to address individual concerns in the community. And this is unprecedented. If you check any other part of the world, there is no other president that does what your president does. Come himself on the ground. Other countries are looking to this president, our president, for leadership. He's not only leading in Guyana, he's leading in the region, in the Caribbean region, he's leading globally. People talk about the president, President Ali, they know him by name. When we travel, my colleague ministers can tell you, when we travel, people talk about our president. They're so curious about him and his leadership style. And they say to us, they wish they had a president like that. So we must be aware too, about how fortunate we are to have a leader like that, a leader like President Ali. So thank you, sir, for the opportunity this afternoon to be joining you. And I will hand you over now to my colleague, Minister Vikram Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. Good afternoon, residents of Timehri. Let me say that we are very happy and thrilled to be in your community this afternoon. And we have with us our president, the president of Guyana, His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali. And this community this afternoon was specially selected by His Excellency to visit, to ensure that he visit every single community throughout our country. And that has been the mission of our government led by President Ali. When we campaigned in March of 2020, we made two promises to you, and you must be the judge whether we fulfill those promises or not. The first promise is that we came to you with our manifesto, with commitments that we are going to fulfill to ensure that Guyanese have a better life today. And when I say Guyanese, I mean every single Guyanese, whether you live in Timehri or you live in Esquibo, Linden, or Northwest. You are Guyanese, and you are entitled to be part of the development that is taking place in our country. Today we can boast that we have completed almost 100% of the commitments that we made in our manifesto in March of 2020. And it's only 4 years, even though we had to battle COVID for at least almost 2 years, we can say safely that we have fulfilled our promise to the people of this country. And I'm sure if we ask each and every one of you whether you would have benefited in some way or the other, since yes, in some, your children have their school because we care cash grant, you have benefited from a scholarship, from a house lot, in some way or the other, whether it's improved education in our country, health care and delivery in our country, every single Guyanese would have benefited in some way or the other from the President Ali-led administration. The second promise we made to you is that after we got into government, after we were victorious in 2020, that we will keep coming to your community and engage you and consult with you so that we understand what are your needs, what are your challenges, and how we can work together to resolve those issues to make your lives more comfortable. And I'm sure we would have fulfilled that, not only today, but I'm sure many ministers came to your community. Minister Kwame McCoy, who is part of these bank and who comes to these communities on a regular basis and work with villagers to ensure that we bring greater benefits. Today, we have no other than the President himself coming to your community so that he can listen to your concerns and your issues. So again, I want to thank you for coming out in your large numbers. It shows clearly that you want to see development in your community, and of course you want to hear from our President as well. So I want to thank you very much and ask that we be as engaging as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I was asked to make some very few remarks, and I'll make them very few. The first thing that I want to say to you is that as a people, you have to compare and contrast your leaders. And a simple way of doing it is, I'll use one simple example. So when we come into the government in 2020, the simple cash grant that the children, you see a young lady in her uniform, was taken away. Now just imagine the value system of a person that will look at child and said, you can't get this money anymore. I can't give you this money to buy the boot and the bag and the uniform anymore. Just think about that. You as a parent, as an adult, the value system that says that you must take care of children, women in the whole are born nurturers. Imagine that a government, a collective wisdom of a government says to the children of this country that you can't get this money. We can't afford it. That is what they said. So when I say that you compare and contrast your leaders, to my left is the young President Irfaan. At the age of 40, he took the reins of the presidency. Immediately when he came in fact, before he came into government, he campaigned and said that we're going to give it back and we're going to make sure we increase it year by year by year. That is the difference in the heart and the value system of the lead that you have in front of you and the one that we left behind in 2020. That single thing, I'll make the example. The other thing that I want to talk about is about leadership. Most times when you see countries end up in economic distress and collapse, it's simply because it's failure at the leadership level. The leadership. If the leader can't lead you properly, everything else is fall away. Look right next door. What is happening there? Look other parts of the world where you see famine, drought, economic collapse, war, this, that, and the other. A whole host of evil happening to different parts of the world. In Guyana, we must count our blessings. From time to time, we find ourselves complaining a lot, but we also need to count our blessings. Leaders fail when they fail to listen to the people on the ground. Here is it that you have the president, not the first time, not the second time. He's all the time on the ground. Sometimes I wonder if he don't like your house. I kid you not, I said, this man is like your house, but the man is always on the ground because he's driven by something other than obligation. He's not driven by the obligation to come out here and meet you. He's possessed with a spirit to do good for people. He's possessed with it. It's a possession that have him getting up all the time, waking up in the night, calling you at 2 o'clock to get things done. That is the leader that I have to my left. And let me tell you this. Right in your community, in the community of Timehri alone, just in public works alone, we spent close to $700 million in fixing small street and all kind of thing. Right in this single community, $600 million in Timehri alone. And this year, another 150 is earmarked to do some other works in Reliance Road and so. As you know, we're doing Timehri docks. When the president, when he said do Timehri docks, we did it. But just to say that to you and to compare that, in 2015, when the men gone into government, they're just going into government, they put for road works $554 million for the whole country. This is a government that puts $600 million in one community. That is to tell you the difference in leadership. And I say no more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me apologize to all of you. I know you are here a long time, but we went to other meetings that did not complete within the time frame that we thought they would have been completed. So let me thank you for your patience. And let me say to you how very happy I am to be with you on this mission of listening. You know, over the last 4 years, we've been going to every single community and examining the challenges of communities and looking at more ways through which we can increase productivity, ways in which we can continue to raise the standard of living, ensure that the investments we are making is impacting people in a positive way. But sometimes when we focus on the big things, you know, in Timehri, for example, every time you talk about Timehri, you hear people talking about the expansion of the airport, going to build a new Terminal 2 that will bring, of course, more employment here. We're talking about the expansion of businesses, enterprise, new commercial buildings that will be added to the airport, a new hotel coming on stream. But those are important things. Those are important things for the expansion of the economy in the community. But there are also some small things that are key for your communities. Things that are important, and I can see one of them right here, your community center. We have to fix this and fix it very quickly. So I'm going to put together a little group led by Minister Indar to work with Men on Mission and to get work started here almost instantaneously. We have to get this community center fixed. So when we come, in the last 6 weeks I've been going around communities all across the country because this year we want to focus heavily on community investment. How we can help the NDC with resources so that they can be more involved, they can be better equipped. How we can equip the community to help maintain the infrastructure. Community security. How we can ensure that we enhance their security, whether it's through street lighting, whether it's through the Safe Guyana, Safe Country program, the CCTV cameras. How is it we can enhance and beautify the community? Because all of this adds to the value of life. All of this adds to the quality of life. All of this adds to the value of your homes. And then there are some communities that may have other challenges, whether it's recreational facility, whether it's a community market, whether it's a small project that you want to be completed, get completed, whether it's GWI and the need for some added support so that you can have sustainable water, whether it is something in education that you want to be expanded. So that is what we want to focus on. How is it we can help you and listen to you on what your priorities are? You see, going around the country, I've noticed one thing. 4 years ago, the priority was a road. Most communities, they have the road now. The priority is now a sidewalk. I went to a number of communities and said, yes, we got a road, but people speeding down the road now. So they want speed bumps, right? They want sidewalk. That is how development is. As you develop, people needs, people expectation also gets higher. All right? When you invest in your children, your expectation is a bit higher. Right? Many of you, and I always say this to the young people, many of the older folks don't have a degree and a master's and a PhD, not because they weren't bright, it is because they never had the opportunity that you have today. And that is the difference. Today is a totally different environment in which you have the opportunities to excel. We also want to work with women in communities to see how we can help you to improve disposable income. So in some communities, we're working with the women in a honey production program. So we have Dr. Waldron here, for example. So what we do is that we train them in beekeeping. We give them all the hives. We invest in the hives. We invest in the safety equipment so that we can give them an opportunity to expand their disposable income. So today, as I said, I am not here for long speeches. Today I'm here once again to listen to you, as we have been doing in the last 4 years. To listen to what additional ways we can work in ensuring that we continuously and continue to improve your quality of life. To ensure that the little niggles that may exist within your community, to find ways in which we can work together to resolve these. And I know one of the big issue in Timehri area is also the issue of squatter settlements. And we have to understand by now that the pace of development across the country is going to make every single area important. So if we are going to go down a path of regularization, we have to all accept and agree that some may be displaced, but you're not going to be displaced without a land. You're going to be displaced into an area that also will be developed. And you need that land if you're going to improve your net value. Don't postpone an opportunity today as a problem for the next generation or for your children. If together we can work on an opportunity today to resolve your issues, whether it's squatting, let us work together to resolve it so that your children don't take forward that burden. That is my philosophy. That is how I look at life. You know, we can say, oh, we're not going to move, we're not going to do that when you're in a critical area, but all you're doing is postponing the problem for our next generation. When we can work together to try to find solution in this current generation. And that is what I want. In this One Guyana concept, it's about how we work together in finding solution, to support each other, to build stronger communities, to build a greater country, and to leave a greater country for those who will come after us. That is what we want to do. So today, I have an entire team from GWI, GPL, Lands and Survey, Ministry of Agriculture, the Guyana Police Force, National Drainage Irrigation Authority, Ministry of Agriculture, all of them. They're standing at the back here. So if you have personal issues, if you have any personal issues, these guys at the back here, they can put their hand up. And you have in most of the agencies, you have a CEO or a director or a senior manager. And you have an entire team from my office here. So for your personal issues, I'll ask you to go to them. And all the community issues, you will come here and you will raise those issues for us to resolve. But in raising those community issues, and I see one of your community member here, Dion. You from this area? You spend some time. What do we do during the time? Or what you was doing up here spending time? Or who you spend time by? Family, okay. All right, so we want to work with you. We want to find ways in which we can build, as I said, stronger community. So, sorry. All the community issues are going to come up here and raise them. All I'm asking you to do is not to repeat issues. Let us not repeat issues, all right? So somebody raise an issue, we'll take it down, and then we'll tell you what the response. All right, so let's get started. I'm sorry, hold. Wait right there. We ain't laughing, but don't operate like Russian. Right? Hold. Come.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm a stallholder from the Timehri market, and we would like our market to get a little more beautified. It was unfinished when Mr. Witte gave us a couple of years ago.
How much rent is yours?
About 15. Yeah. And the next thing, all the GPL wire fall along on the ground. GPL come and visit, we write into them many times, and all the wire are actually on the ground.
All right, so the market.
Yeah, Timehri market.
It's excellent. Good afternoon to you, sir. Yes, President, respect due to you. I'm from Timehri North, okay? And there are some things that is bothering me that I'm glad to see, to talk to you concerning it, okay? Now, we are business people, small business people around community of Timehri. In front of the airport, we have a little small business going on there, okay? Enough for us to survive, call it hand to mouth, okay? Now, we design our place in such a way, there are other people that cannot afford it, but we design our place in such a way that it must be presentable, okay? Now they come and put a big wall in front of the place. We ain't even get to eat properly with this big wall. No problem with the wall, but they didn't even put a air vent in this wall for us to get a little breeze or anything of the sort. It looked like if we're in prison. So I'm glad that I reached with you to talk to you concerning this, because there are human beings behind that wall, sir. So we're glad if they can just put some air vents or so. It's not good, but they can do better than that. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, in my community, there are small children, especially girl children. No lights around the place or anything of the sort. It's dark. So we need people to pay attention to the community, for the community to raise up to the standard of living, proper living. Okay, sir? Thank you.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, sir, and your team. My name is Paul Chat Singh from Timehri, Alliance Road. Earlier last year, we met, you were at Base Road Sawmill, and I spoke to you about the clock, Stabrook Market clock. If I can humor you, if you don't mind. If you can get a hold of one barrel oil and grease or oil gears and see whatever parts and get it working on your watch would be nice, because it's decades now it ain't working. However, the arm also, if that fall, it could be fatal for a lot of people, because a lot of people traverse in there. If it can't work, then you could face it with cultural falls or some painting or something, right? That's one. Two, Queen Victoria. The one she hand missing. If you could get a mannequin hand, I could wrap it on there and make it look presentable. Right? I wrote 3 letters to you, sir, and one I deliver, the third one I deliver to the Garwood in connection with these 2 issues, right? Thirdly, I don't know what plans you have for the co-op bank that they're next to the fire station.
Uncle, let me talk just now. I want to focus on some community issue here, right? You can get up for them to just now. Come, me, you can get up here. You come here. Come.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Mr. President. I am not a member of the community of Timehri, but I work here. I'm the only doctor at Timehri Health Center. So I serve this community every day. And I'm here this afternoon because I have some concerns about the facilities that we have at the health center. I have concerns about us not getting drugs in a timely manner. We have to ration our drugs. We have to tell patients, well, you can't get 2 months of drugs this month. You could only get 1. You're going to have to check back in with us to see if we have the medication for you. A few months ago, we were out of simple things like Panadol. We had to ask our patients to be buying nasal drops for their babies when they're in cold, when they have colds, right? When I first came to Timehri Health Center, we didn't even have blades to incise abscesses or gloves, right? I had spent my own money, bought the gloves, bought the blades, came to work, did my best for this community. I'm advocating for the staff at the health center. We've currently been without flushable toilets for several months. We're fetching water in buckets to flush the toilet for the staff at the health center. We have had issues where the health centers have been flooding because of the toilets. So we're having to dispose of our limited supplies. When the water gets in and soaks the gauze and all of those things, we have to dispose of those things. We're not able to use them anymore. Then we have delays in getting the medication to us, getting the supplies to us. I don't know if it's because that you're coming today, they sent some supplies yesterday to tide us over. You know how those things go. We don't have any AC in our pharmacy bond. So the pharmacist has to turn on her outside AC, open the door, and she's often cold to ensure that the drugs are stored at the right temperature. We have trees growing onto the building. We've asked for those trees to be cut down. The compound hasn't been weeded since November. We have trees growing onto the building, and that's eventually going to cause a problem with the roof. So we have a lot of concerns with the health center. We don't have a permanent cleaner. We don't have a clerk. So we have 2 pathway workers. They come in more than their 10 days because they recognize the need for us to be clean and tidy, and they work more than the time they're supposed to help us out. But we have to carry a lot of that weight. All right.
That is unfortunate, and the regional health officer is not here, but we have been giving them all the medication, and we have been telling them to bring these things to the Ministry of Health concern. But the regional health officer is not here, but the regional health officer will be hearing from me early tomorrow morning. And make sure we write the regional health officer. Minister Jennifer, Dr. Westford, is going to come there tomorrow morning, and she's going to work specifically on having all the health centers in this East Bank, especially this one, fixed. She's going to be in charge of fixing it. So we're going to take the responsibility away and give Minister Westford. She'll get all the support to fix it. So let's make sure that happens tomorrow.
Coming in from the side, exit here.
Come here. Good. You better, right?